Rona hit me for a second time, so to make myself feel better, I got rid of a bunch of books. Here they are. So I had to split the books I'm getting rid of into two separate camps. Books that are going out of my house entirely and books that are going to my classroom library. Because some of these books are still good, I don't need them in my physical library anymore. If you see a cat, it's Ludi. She's living in the library right now because she had eye surgery a couple weeks ago. We had to keep her quarantined from the other cats. She looks really creepy now, but she feels okay. So, well, she's doing all right. Yeah, you're very beautiful. Thank you for helping with the books. Anyway, let's look at the ones I'm going to put in my classroom library first because that's a smaller stack. A copy of The Great Gatsby. I have my annotated version of this, so I don't need additional copies of The Great Gatsby. And I already have like 5 in my classroom, so I figure if we need to do a group reading activity, a group can read The Great Gatsby. I'm just going to put it in the library. Just One Day by Gail Forman. I remember liking this book, and I think it's a simple little YA, but I don't remember enough about it to care to have it in my library, but a kid might read it and like it, so attacking my hand will not help you. Thank you. The Bone Sparrow is devastating and very, very good. Gina got this for me a couple years ago, I think for Christmas or my birthday, and I devoured it in like one day. It's about kids in a camp, not a fun camp, like a bad camp, like a probably illegal camp, because of racism. Internment camp? I feel like that's the word. Listen, I'm going through it this week. Anyway, it's a good book. It's sad. It's really devastating to read. But that's why I kind of want to put it in the classroom library, because I'm probably not going to read it again with it being on my shelves. And I didn't love it enough for it to be a favorite, but it's a really good book. And I think there are some kids that I have that care enough about like current events that they will really like this book. So I'm going to put it in the library. I got this series at Enjoy the other day, The Madman's Daughter, and then Her Dark Curiosity and A Cold Legacy. I don't know anything about this, but that's a complete trilogy right there. Just going to go straight into the classroom library. I think it's sci-fi. Who knows? No One Is Coming to Save Us is sort of a Great Gatsby retelling, so that would be interesting for some of my kids if they read Great Gatsby and want to go further with it, and it's based in North Carolina. Again, I liked it, but not enough that I feel like I need to keep it. It did what it was supposed to do. It gave what it was supposed to give. Gave what it was supposed to give. Jesus, bear with me. The next book is the Book of Lost Tales. It's just additional stuff to go with Lord of the Rings. My brain today. Lord of the Rings, which I've never read, and at this point it's looking really bad for me to read it. But if I do read it and I want to read this, it'll be in my classroom library. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I just finished this. It's really good. It's pretty simple, sci-fi mystery drama kind of thing. So I'm going to put this in the classroom library in case anyone likes that kind of thing. I also now have 2 copies of The Joy Luck Club, the paperback. So this is going to go in the classroom library for, again, group reading. If I have partners that want to read the same book, that's a good option to have. I'm putting The Perks of Being a Wallflower in there because that's a good YA book to read. It's hard. It's not an easy book to read, but if they haven't read it, they might like it. Everything I Never Told You. Again, this is another one that's a little bit more hard-hitting, but I do have kids that ask for this stuff, so I'll put that in there. Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore. I love this book. I didn't want to get rid of it because it is a really good story about trying to hunt down this weird missing font that doesn't exist anymore. And I think it's an approachable adult novel for teens, so I'm going to put that in there. Later by Stephen King. This might be on the probably aggressive side of things to put in my classroom library, but I do have Stephen King in there already, so it's really nothing new. And you should see what some of these kids are reading on Wattpad. And last one is Dark Secrets. It's like 2 YA mystery thriller things. I don't know why I even have that. So I'm not going to read this. I had this in my TBR. I'm not going to read that. Put that in the classroom library. Okay. Now the books that I'm definitely getting rid of, getting out of my house. They can go to David's or Enjoy or somewhere, but they're just not going to be in here anymore. First is Scarlet, and Rhett Butler's People. This is the sequel and third book in the sort of series about Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind. I will read Gone with the Wind. I will put myself through that massive book at some point in my life. I will not be doing this. I've decided. Like, I know it was crazy that I was able to find both of these. But I don't need to read fan fiction about Scarlett and Rhett. I can do that online for free if I really care that much about it. Props to these people who got it published, but I don't care that much about it. The Widow of the South. Again, I think this is going to be something stupid, so no, I'm not going to read it. Christina Lauren's In a Holidays. This is just to romance for my classroom library. It's not that this was a bad book. I just know I'm never going to read it again. It didn't do what it was supposed to do. I wanted more of a time loop situation, like it was a time loop, but it didn't do enough loops for me. Sorry. Next is Carols and Chaos. Another holiday one. So weird. Again, this one is too tame. I'm on this weird, like, I don't like clean romance. Like, if it's going to be a romance, just go ahead and be a romance, you know. And this is too clean for me. And I think it's the sequel book of a series. Like, you don't have to read them in order, but technically you should. And I just didn't follow along very well on that one. These are hilarious. Hilarious. Gabrielle's Inferno and Gabrielle's Rapture. I watch Bad Movies in a Beat and on here on YouTube, and I know all I need to know about the movies based on these books. And having seen those, I do not need to read those. They can go to somebody else. Another romance wall banger. This one's good. I'm never gonna reread it. Like, especially, I probably can find stuff like this for free on Kindle Unlimited. I don't need to read that again. The Shack is good, right? Like, this is a good book. I don't want to put it in my classroom library because I don't want it to feel like I'm imposing any kind of religious thing on students. I do have some religious books in there, but this one feels like a very much like theologically based thing. And I just don't think any of my kids are going to want to read this. I'd rather just donate it and be done with it. And now if someone does mention they want to read it, I'll try to find it for them, but I'm not going to read it again. It was really devastating to read the first time. I just don't see myself picking up for fun. The next two are... I'm telling you, I'm dying. Alright, the next two are Christian romances. We have Baggage Claim and Not by Sight. And Not by Sight's a historical Christian romance. Like I said, no clean romances into the year 2023. I love myself enough to know that is not my bag, and I do not want it. For Us the Living, amazing cover, but it's about, like, the North and the South and Civil Wars, and she's like a New Yorker, and I don't really care. The one problem I have with this one and this one, the Hindenburg, which I'm also getting rid of, and this is about, like, the last hours of the Hindenburg. They're from my aunt's collection. They have her name in the book, and so I feel bad about getting rid of them, but she has a lot of books in the attic I still haven't gone through, and I'm not going to read these books. I don't need to hold on to them just because they have her name in it. I've got other books in here with her name in it, so I'm just getting rid of them. I'm getting rid of Hannibal Rising. I have The Silence of the Lambs. I don't want the rest of the series. I don't care that much about the prequel to that. 5 for Sorrow, 10 for Joy. I don't know anything about it. I don't care about it. I'm getting rid of it. The 8. I don't know anything about it besides it's been here, my God, so long, and I can't imagine I'm going to want to read it. Like, I read the synopsis on the back, and I'm like, that doesn't intrigue me. I guess like it used to. I'm getting rid of the Clan of the Cave Bear and the Valley of Horses paperbacks because I have a whole thing of hardcovers now, the entire series. If you don't know, this is, gosh, it's not like, it's Earth's Children series, Earth's Children. It was my mom's favorite series growing up. I keep meaning to read it to see what the hype is about, but we'll see. I'm also getting rid of The Vow. The Vow has this amazing cover. I'm just not interested. I'm getting rid of The Rescue. I've never been into Nicholas Sparks. The only book that I have in here of Nicholas Sparks right now is A Walk to Remember. And as soon as I read that, if I decide that I don't like the book as much as I like the movie, I'm going to get rid of it. Carl Hyacint's Skin Tight. I really like Carl Hyacin. I really loved Hoot when I was in middle school. And I read another book from him when I was in college. It was pretty good, but this isn't my genre of choice. Last one I'm getting rid of is Son of Rosemary. Rosemary's Baby is a classic. It's really good. It's fantastic. This is not. This is trash. This is garbage, and I don't need it in my life. I'd like to pretend that I live in a world where I never found out that Rosemary's Baby has a sequel, because it's awful. Anyway, that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. I'll probably go through again and pick a few things out. Oh, I know I'm getting rid of a couple of books that I don't have on me right now. Where did I put those books at? Give me 1 second. Not me forgetting that I had a whole bunch of books on a shelf to keep Ludi from getting behind this shelf. We have to give her eye drops 3 times a day, and we found that one of the shelves, she was going back into it, and it was hard to get her out, so I put books in there. And, okay, so there's more books to get rid of. I'm getting rid of The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. I'm getting rid of the Andy Darkin series and putting it in my classroom library. I'm not getting rid of these fully. I think some kids may read this after I finish Andy Darkin. All 3 of these are going to a classroom library. I just know I'm not going to finish it. All respects to Kirsten White. I love your work, but there is no way I'm finishing that slog of a series. I am not doing it. I'm getting rid of This Present Darkness and the sequel Piercing the Darkness, because this is ass, and I don't want it anymore. And on that note, I'm getting rid of the other Frank Peretti book I have, Illusion, where a magician and his partner for 40 years, the woman dies, and Mandy, his wife, reawakens in the present as a 19-year-old that she was in 1970, so she goes to find him. I don't know, it just feels like it's going to be kind of predatory. I'm getting rid of House by Frank Peretti and Ted Dekker. I've heard good things about Ted Dekker. I've never read Ted Dekker, but it's Christian thriller. It's a Christian thriller. Showdown by Ted Dekker. Not interested. A Bride Most Begrudging. This is another Christian historical fiction. I'm not interested. I'm going to put Stone Mattress in the classroom library because it's good, but I think that kids might read it. We've got The Fifth Wave. I'm also going to put in the classroom library. And last but not least, Adam by Ted Dekker, which I'm going to get rid of. It's Christian thriller, Christian horror, Christian whatever. Anyway, I basically, after I finished This Present Darkness, it was so bad, I went through my entire library and pulled out everything that's Christian fiction, because I just know in my soul I'm never going to read it. I'm not going to enjoy it. I cannot read Christian fiction. I am a Christian, and I cannot sit through the preaching of Christian fiction, like just write fiction. Just write fiction. The only Christian fiction I still have on my shelf is Out of the Silent Planet, which is C.S. Lewis's sci-fi. And I'll read that at some point, but that's the only one I kept. Everything else had to go. Especially Christian romance. My God, like I need more clean romance in my life. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to go pass out somewhere. Maybe take some cough medicine because this was a lot. Anyway, I hope you also are feeling the call to unhaul. If you have, like me, accrued too many books over the years, I'll probably unhaul again at the end of the spring semester, right in the June, July time. But I got to get through some of these books before I can start unhauling. Anyway, that's it. Bye.